audience feedback held the same importance as it did for my short film as for my 2 ancillary tasks. It was very important for me to have opinions throughout the process of research, planning, and my final product for both ancillary tasks to make sure that my target audience who are being asked the questions and getting my feedback from liked my product. I have video feedback from my peers which is shown all throughout my research, planning and final product, which is shown throughout my blog with videos I've taken from their feedback. I also have written quotes which I received from them. And along with this, I also created the survey, which I will be showing primarily in my evaluation here. These all really helped me once again just to get an idea of what my target audience and how they responded to my product. The first question I asked on my survey was, did you like the digitally painted element of the movie poster? I had asked this question because I was, Here I received positive feedback. I had 92.8% of the 13 people, of the 14 people in total, saying that they really did like the digitally painted element of the poster, which was a great thing because that was the main element of my poster and was something I was really keen on the target audience liking. And this was one comment I got which said I really liked it, it was really unique and eye-catching, which was very positive feedback and meant I didn't have to change my poster. The second question I'd asked was, which slogan is more effective? Can you hear the voices or let the mind swim deep? I asked this when I was actually in the process of making my poster and was deciding between a slogan. The slogan in the poster is a very important convention and it was important to choose the right slogan. Therefore, it was vital I asked my target audience which one they preferred before going ahead and using the final slogan. So the results in this one were very vital to me and it was a very important question to ask. Here, overwhelmingly, it can be seen that 12 of the total 14 people think that "Can you hear the voices" was a much better catchphrase than "Let your mind swim deep," which only 4 people liked. Therefore, I went and decided to use the "Can you hear the voices" after using my target audience feedback. The question's effective makes you think was a good comment and proved that the first slogan was much more effective than the second, which is why I used it. The third question I had asked was after I digitally painted Scarlet and I had asked, did you recognize the central character of Scarlet? This was important because the main idea of the poster is having the central character Scarlet on it, and that shows consistency between my short film and my movie poster. So it was really important to me that they could recognize her. Here, overwhelmingly, once again, 92.86% could recognize Scarlet in the movie poster after seeing the short film in comparison to 2 who couldn't. This was good feedback and meant that I did not have to go back to digitally repaint certain aspects of her face because she could be recognized. And it was important she could be recognized because there had to be consistency between the short film and the movie poster. My last and final question was when I had finished the movie poster and asked what was your overall opinion of the movie poster. I had 3 main ones. I thoroughly liked it, I thought it was satisfactory, or I did not like it and think it should be redone. This was an overall idea of collecting responses from my target audience just to see the kind of feel that I got and whether they responded well to it. Overall, 92.86%, 13 of the 14 people thoroughly liked my movie poster. 2 people thought it was satisfactory and no one didn't like it and thought it should be redone. This was encouraging feedback because, and probably proved to be the way it was because I listened to audience feedback throughout and the final product replicated the opinions and thoughts of the viewers who were looking at it. The comments someone left was it was particularly unique compared to other posters. This was important to me because I wanted to challenge conventions of normal drama posters and try and do something a little more outside the box, which I hope I did in digitally recreating the face of Scarlet and having an abstract poster rather than a simple photography flash image of the main protagonist for the poster instead. question I asked for my double page spread was, did you find the double page visually and graphically interesting? This was really key to me because, as I explain on my blog, with a double page spread there's only so much going against the conventions you can do, because to replicate an authentic product you have to have the certain conventions within it. But I also wanted to make sure that I wasn't boring and just replicating products on the market. It was also graphically and visually interesting, which it has to be in order to grab the reader's attention. Therefore, audience feedback on this was vital, and if they said it wasn't interesting enough, I'd have to add in different elements and change things around. Here the feedback I got was 12 of the 14 people found that the page was in fact visually interesting, and 2 thought the graphics were satisfactory. Having seen this, I decided that I would include one more Dropbox just to make sure that all the 14 people found it visually interesting. But overall, I would keep the graphics pretty much the same because of the target audience feedback I'd received from the SurveyMonkey question. The second question I asked on my SurveyMonkey was, did you think the double page spread replicated a real authentic product? This question was particularly important because I wanted to make sure that the product I was releasing was authentic and looked and replicated certain aspects of a real double page spread. This was also about sticking to the conventions, how far I stuck to the conventions of a double page spread, to make sure that I replicated it, but also didn't completely directly copy it. So feedback on this question was vitally important to make sure I stuck to the conventions and my product replicated a real product out there. The results from this feedback was closer than I'd expected, and this was 10 out of the 14 people thought that it was professional looking, and 4 of the 14 people thought it did perhaps replicate an authentic product, and nobody said it didn't look. Absolutely not. It looks like a student work. It was this comment was important to me because I wanted to make sure that at least a majority of my target audience thought that it looked authentic and could be displaced as a real media product for my short film Mute. The comments in this were especially important because I wanted to know why 4 people out of the 14, the highest amount with the middle bracket, didn't think that it would be unlikely that it would be representing a real product which you'd see in, for example, an Empire magazine or just generally a film magazine double page spread. These were the 2 comments I received. One I'm expecting was from the person who said that it didn't look like couldn't replicate a real authentic product was because you didn't have the same budget. This is a very true point. I'm not working with the same high level software and budget that professionals in the industry would be using. However, given what I had and the money and the time frame I was given to create this double page spread, hopefully taking that into account, I have created a real and authentic product which does assimilate and reflect aspects of a real double page spread. And the second comment said that it does replicate everything a real double page spread has, which was good and encouraging feedback to receive from my target audience. My third question was, once again, very important, a question I've asked throughout my 3 tasks, which was, do you think the double page spread represented mental illness positively? This question, once again, was vital to me because in my project Mute, I wanted to make sure that I represented the illness of schizophrenia as accurately as possible. Therefore, audience feedback to this was vital, and had I not represented it as well as I could, I'd definitely make some changes according to feedback. The results from here, 10 out of the 14 people said that mental illness was represented positively within my double page spread, and 4 out of the 14, once again quite a high margin, believed that in fact there was no representation within the movie within the double page spread, in comparison to my short film where it can be a lot further analysed, and perhaps even my poster. So I was interested in seeing the comments I'd received as I'd made this an add comment field on the SurveyMonkey survey. So the comments I received was there's no representation, and once again there's no representation generally. So because there's no representation, it's hard to analyze it, of course, in terms of representation. So I therefore didn't take this as much into consideration and decided to instead focus on different aspects of the double page spread, such as the visual and graphics elements of it. My fourth and final question was once again, overall, did you enjoy the double page spread and what were your opinions of it? With 3 answers being available. 1, I thoroughly enjoyed it. 2, I thought it was satisfactory. And 3, I didn't like it at all. This question was once again important just to make sure that my target audience liked my product, and if there were any major things that were to be addressed, I could redo it as I still had time. This was once again very, very encouraging feedback from my target audience, 16 to 24 age bracket, who overwhelmingly 12 to 14, 85.71%, said that they thoroughly enjoyed the double page spread, and 2 people thought it was satisfactory and could be improved. Therefore, as the majority liked it, I decided to not change anything and instead leave it the way it is, because there will always be a minority who don't like your work for some reason, one reason or another. It can be said that my target audience liked my double page spread so much because I listened throughout research and planning to their feedback and worked along their recommendations along with mine, and we both come to a final product almost together throughout this journey of creating it.